Hello everyone, back to tuning into today's second video. We're going to have a look at the weather for the next 10 to 14 days for today's second video. Day 10 will take us to the 9th of March, and we'll be able to extend out beyond that with the extended GFS and ECM ensembles. Maybe on trying a couple of weeks. Have a look at CFS V2 at the end of the video for the next 4 weeks. Gets us well into the second half of March. I should get over that for you in a moment. We'll bring you up to date with all the latest stratospheric developments as well in a mo. But just say that first, the video today is at 6 a.m. UK weather forecast. Please like, share, and subscribe on both of today's videos. Thank you so much, everyone, for doing that for GavsWeatherVids. Thank you so much, everyone. Right, going to start off with the midnight GFS run from a strat perspective. So, this is how temperatures are currently looking at 10 HPA over the Arctic and the North Pole. Blue colours here are the cold temperatures at 10 HPA in the stratosphere. That is the stratospheric polar vortex. Essentially, now we know we've got a warming on the way, so let's see what midnight run did with that. Well, here it comes, developing it in about 5 days over Russia and Siberia, and then intensifying it a lot in about a week's time. See those red colours appearing over Siberia and starting to push in towards the North Pole as well. Let's run on into the extended. And becoming a really intense sudden stratospheric warming event there over Russia and penetrating into the Arctic as well at 10 HPA, causing a displacement by the 8th of March of the stratospheric polar vortex. That's been pushed out into Canada and the North Atlantic and western northern parts of Europe as well. And then find that warming actually moving into the pole itself. So you see these red colours, they're more or less over top the pole at this point by the 9th of March. So looking really intense with that stratospheric warming then. And eventually, not only do we sort of bring that warming into the pole itself, albeit started to reduce it, of course, after a few days, we begin to split the stratospheric polar vortex as well. So notice the two lobes of blue heading off into America and also into Western Europe as well. We call that a split type sudden stratospheric warming event. So that's basically doing everything that you would want an SSW to do, reaching the required temperature level over Russian Siberia. It's moving it into the North Pole, displacing and then splitting polar vortex and almost certainly reversing the solar wind at 10 HPA 60 degrees north. Now this hour 6 then is looking by comparison. And again, a very significant stratospheric warming taking place there over Russia and moving into the Arctic itself by the 7th of March. And that intensifies further over the North Pole there. I mean, deep red colours, that definitely reaching the required temperature level. And then moving into the pole itself, displacement of the stratospheric polar vortex. Not quite as convincing a split of the SPV on this GFS run, but I think I can say we are more or less still splitting the stratospheric polar vortex there. This is from Weather is Cool. Send It pointed this out. Check out Send It for the latest in terms of the weather. So it's a Send It for pointing this out. Check out Send It's channel. So, this is, as I say, from Weather is Cool, this is showing the GFS ensemble in terms of the total wind forecast. I haven't looked at this much this season. But the green lines here, well, that's where we currently are. We're very strong with the zone wind at 10 HPA at the moment. I'm going to say generally in a very strong setup into the beginning of March as well. But you see the green lines falling away here. These are the GFS ensembles. So most of it looks like most of the ensemble members on the midnight suite anyway were sending the zone of wind into reverse there, reversing zone of winds 10 HPA 60 degrees north, which I say is a technical SSW. Can you show to Send It for pointing that out? I mean, ECM is shifting in terms of sending the zone of wind closer to reverse. Anyway, this is from last night's extended update. So this is showing mean zone of winds at 10 HPA extended range forecast. And again, you see these deep blue colours here descending. So that's where we currently are. Very strong with zone of wind, of course, at the moment. But you see how the blue line here, the deep blue line, which is the ensemble mint. Kind of hard to make out. I wish I'd changed the colour on that. But see how that descends close to this zero line just here. So it doesn't quite, the ensemble doesn't quite get the zone of wind into reverse. It gets very close to it. A lot of ensemble members are reversing zone of winds there through next week, and that is a big shift on the day before. So that's how Tuesday, the update from Tuesday 25th of February was looking. Notice the thick blue line was just here. The update for Wednesday 26th of February takes that thick blue line, the ensemble mean, down to there. So it's looking like a very, very significant stratospheric warming event. I think it's going to be a sudden stratospheric warming. It's certainly reaching the required temperature level. I think this will probably send the zone of wind into reverse. Whether we get the split or whether it's a displacement type event, that's still to be determined, because even on the midnight run, the split doesn't really happen until like the end of the GFS run, which is very unreliable time frame. So we might not split the stratospheric polar vortex, might just displace it. But I think we will get an SSW next week. Nailed my colours to the mast there, so if it doesn't come off, then forget what I said, anything. Right, okay, so that's what you take of all things stratosphere-wise. We'll keep you updated. Latest wind from earthnorthschool.net shows that we're building up a ridge from off the Atlantic today, moving this ridge from the Azores into west of Europe, taking low pressure out into the Low Countries and Germany and whatnot. So high pressure is taking over and will be in control actually for much of the first sort of week or so of March. More about that later. Central temperature is still sitting at 5.3. That's 1.5 degrees above 61 night on the average in provisional to yesterday to the 26th of February there. These were GFS upper air temperature and precipitation ensembles. Next couple of weeks, we're at Leeds today. The red line is the 30-year upper air temperature actual Leeds, starting off below actual, average is slightly below at the moment. They'll be lifting up though next week. Going to become quite mild. Actually, could be relatively warm, taking temperature on the surface into the low to mid-teens Celsius maybe if we get a bit of sunshine. Now, the first week of March looking very mild. Looks like got a cooling trend though into the second week of the month and up to mid-month. Precipitation-wise, lots of dry weather for the first week of March, and then gradually getting a little bit more unsettled into the second week. But to be honest, it's a very dry ensemble, so even in this more unsettled period just here, I mean, there's not that many precipitation spikes, so I think we're in for quite a dryish sort of first half to March. That's how it looks there, doesn't it? Temperature anomalies. Next 5 days going to be a bit above average in the north, a little bit below average down in the south. In the 6 to 10 day time frame, all areas are coming out with above average temperature anomalies, particularly in the north and in the east. And only the 10 to 14 day time frame, the temperature anomaly is starting to come down a little bit, but still slightly above average. Precipitation anomalies for the next 7 days are drier than normal. If we look at the 4 to 10 day time frame, that is also coming out drier than average, and the 8 to 14 day time frame still drier than normal. So pretty dry first half to March here. Right, let's start going for chart data. MSW UK Met Euro run is looking for midnight on Sunday. Nice area, high pressure building up from the Azores. Should be quite a nice weekend. And then into next week, well, high pressure dominating south, low pressure is away to the north. It gradually turns more unsettled in the north. It could turn quite wet actually for northern and western Scotland through next week with like a trailing weather front. And you see these little kinks in the ice bars. We love kinky ice bars. So sorry, everyone sees kinks in the ice bars. Well, they are little areas of low pressure along a trailing weather front there, bringing heavy rain into the northwest of Scotland. So it could be very wet, actually. Next, I say it could be dry. It could be very wet for the far western portion of the northern portion of Scotland. But most places are dominated by this ridge. And notice that's bringing the wind around more of a southerly direction by the middle of next week. So not only dry, but temperatures lifting up next week as well. ICAR looking like that again. High pressure dominating for the weekend and into next week. It turns more unsettled for northern and western Scotland. But most areas are still finding high pressure in control, and winds are shifting around to the south. And then we've got the KMA looking like that again. High pressure is weakening to the south with low pressure developing up to the north. Now we get to around day 8 to 9, and maybe start to bring deeper low pressure in from off the Atlantic. So towards the end of the first week of March into the second week of month, it does start to turn more unsettled with low pressure and trying to get in. And then we start to get this high pressure building to the north. So then we start to bring the wind around to a colder easterly. That might be the KMA starting to pick up on a tropospheric response to the stratospheric warming. I think it's a little bit early though for that, but it might be an indication of where things are going to go into the second half of March. It could just be that the KMA being a bit progressive with that, but definitely developing some sort of a blocking feature anyway from Iceland, Scandinavia there by the very end. Okay, well then let's move on to the GFS midnight run. And again, got high pressure in the ascendancy, in control for much of next week, bringing loads of dry and pretty mild, if not quite warm weather. Towards the end of next week, into the second weekend of March, this Saturday the 8th, low pressure then starts heading in from off the Atlantic, so it begins to turn more unsettled, with low pressure bringing spells of rain, but not for long. The Rishi's back again in the extended with the GFS, so lots and lots of high pressure for the next couple of weeks, really. Just a short interruption or unsettled conditions. That's how we end up with GFS midnight run. So maybe into a Scandinavian high, but still low pressure around Iceland. About slightly more unsettled. That's a long way off, over 2 weeks away. Then the GFS 6 there, once more with high pressure dominating the weather through much of next week. It will be more unsettled to the north and west of Scotland, but most areas are dry under high pressure, and then lower pressure starts moving in from off the Atlantic. Not for long, though, around day 10 and beyond it. High pressure strengthening through the west of Europe once more. So lots of anticyclonic influences. Hold on. So sorry everyone, lots of anticyclonic influences up to the 15th of March as we get to with the GFS 6 there. Where that high pressure will go beyond then remains to be seen. Remember, if we get the SSW, do get an SSW, but in the second week of March. It's going to start over Russia next week, but I mean, it gets to the Arctic into the second week of March, really. Okay, so if we get it in the second week of March, we would expect a tropospheric response around 2 to 3 weeks after that. So that takes us to like the last week of March, first couple of weeks of April, that kind of window. But let's say middle of March to middle of April, that's when we're looking to see if we get a tropospheric response, if we do get the SSW. Right, if you're enjoying the video, please like, share, subscribe. Make sure you show everyone for doing that. Why not drop a comment and let us know what you think about this and all of our videos and content. Don't forget to tell your friends about GavsWeatherVids. Get to subscribe too. Thank you so much everyone for doing that. Love that. Thank you so much. We've got around 35 subscribers. That's our 90.6k. So if you could give us a sub, that'd be absolutely awesome. So much, everyone. Believable. Right, GM, again with high pressure dominating into the weekend and through next week. High pressure to the south, lower pressure is to the north. High pressure in control for much of next week, bringing a lot of fine weather. By the end of next week, though, into the second weekend of March, low pressure takes over. So it does start to turn more unsettled around days 8, 9 and 10, and possibly into something slightly colder, starting to come into that trough of low pressure as well, maybe. And then the ECM rounding it all off with high pressure, again dominating through the weekend and into next week, although there will be probably heavy rain from the far northwest of Scotland, but most areas are dry through next week and quite mild, if not warm as well. It could be chilly at night, though, of course, under high pressure. Around day 10, well, around day 8, 9, it's starting to turn a bit more unsettled, but even then, the south has a lot of dry weather. And then in the more extended range, where high pressure builds back again. So the first half of March showing up to be really dry here. We do eventually, though, with GFS, with ECM, I should say, Charles said, start to get a hint of a Scandinavian high. That's the 14th of March, with high pressure beginning to build over Scandinavia. And we have actually got some cold air, very cold air, start to pull around the back of the high pressure there, the anticyclone. So obviously that's a very long way off, 360 hours away It might, again, be some sort of first hints of a response to the SSW. I think it's a little bit early, but anyway, that's how it ends up with the ECM. Right, this is a precipitation forecast based on the ECM run from Meteo.com. Let's have a quick look at that. Not going to be much to see, I don't think, actually. There will be some rain in the far north and west, though, over the weekend. But most areas are dry, to be honest, over the next 10 days. A little bit more showery up towards around days 9 and 10, especially so for the north and the west. But not much precipitation to speak of. This is the option on the table within the ECM ensemble day 4, day 10 from the Icelandic Met Office. Gets us to the 9th of March, 51 out of 51 members of the ECM ensembles, all of them with a ridge out to the west and also to the east, and then some sort of shallow trough through the west of Europe, a little bit like that. And then in 2 time, these are the options that we've got. It will get us to the 14th of March, 18 members of the ECM ensembles with high pressure towards Scandinavia and winds potentially coming in from a southeasterly, if not easterly direction. That does include the control and the operational. 17, again, with high pressure towards Scandinavia, but low pressure coming in off the Atlantic. So a bit of a battle going on with that one. And we've got 16 keeping the wind in from a mild west-southwesterly direction, with low pressure away to the north and the west and high pressure to the south and to the east. Interesting. Right, so just have a quick look at CFS V2, and then we're done. Again, if you enjoy the video, can you give us a like? Make sure you share for doing that. So this is week 1, 500 millibar height only, taking us from the 27th of February to 5th of March. The next week has high pressure dominating across most parts of Europe, including the UK. And we go through into week 2. Come on, highlighter, which is going to be the 6th to the 12th of March. High pressure away to the east, low pressures out to the west, and winds are coming up from more of a southerly direction there. Week 3 will be the 13th to the 19th of March, with low pressure to the north, high pressure is to the south, and winds are coming up from a west or southwesterly direction. And then finally, week 4 is going to be the 20th, 26th of March, high pressure, again, set more to the south, low pressure to the north, winds still coming in from a west or southwesterly direction. Lots of dry and mild weather with that. You would have thought. Certainly no sign of any tropospheric response to a SSW there. But then again, I don't think the CFS takes into account SSWs until they've actually happened. I don't think it's one of those models, but actually looks at the stratospheric level. So we'll see. Anyway, we're done. If you enjoyed the video, please like, share, and subscribe. Thanks so much everyone for doing that. And why not drop a comment and let's say what you think about this and all of our videos and content. Don't forget to tell your friends about GavsWeatherVids. Go to subscribe to. Show everyone for doing that. Tomorrow we're going to have a 6 AM UK weather forecast. Have Jeremy Friday 10-14 day. And I think we're going to have the last pub run of season as well at 10:30. So lots to look forward to tomorrow. Keep checking back to the channel for more. Enjoy the rest of your Thursday. And for this one, that's all for now. And thanks for watching.